Brandeis University is a big university up in Massachusetts, and they're making news today because they now have a list of words and phrases that their students and staff can no longer say. Okay, they have this, it's called a Prevention, Advocacy, and Research Center, known as PARC. They put out this list of words and phrases that you can't say because they're offensive in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the obvious ones. It's stuff that you wouldn't even...
that word or that word?
No, it's not the obvious stuff. It's not the ones... Yeah, because they don't want people feeling offended in any way, shape, or form. Interestingly enough, they don't want you to say triggered. You're not triggered. Trigger warning. They don't want you to say that because a trigger is associated with a gun. I'm not making this up. And that has a negative implication. So instead of saying triggered, they want you to say content note. I'm serious. If someone's doing well, they don't want you to say, "Oh, you're killing it." No. Because again, that's oppressive language. If somebody's doing well, there are other ways to say it without equating it to murder.
Right.
Like don't say take a shot at or take a stab at. Don't say that. Say give it a go, give it a try.
I know, but if you say killing it, you don't in your head think of murder.
They don't want you saying the phrase rule of thumb. Instead, they want you to say a general rule because, this is my question to you. Rule of thumb is an expression that comes from an old British law allowing men to beat their wives with sticks no wider than their thumb. That's the rule of thumb.
Right.
Here's my question to you. Okay. If you don't know the origin of a word, is it still a bad word? I mean, I don't know if I've said rule of thumb because that seems like something why would I say that? But people have said rule of thumb and I don't get offended by it because I never knew what it meant.
Right. But now that you do, you shouldn't say that.
Well, I had a whole thing when I worked for Cosmo Girl. I didn't like that people called white tank tops wife beaters. That upset me. And I made a stink about that all the time. And at Cosmo Girl, they would have fashion segments. And people would say, okay, you put under a wife beater. No, do not call it a wife beater. Call it a white tank top. That bothered me. I had a problem with that. Nobody ever brings that up. That one people still say, yeah, he was wearing a wife beater.
Yeah, I haven't heard that in years, though.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, I haven't heard that phrase since Cops went off the air. I mean, that came from the TV show Cops because everybody that hit their wives wore a tank top.
So they have this oppressive language list, and it's in 5 main categories. Violent language, which is what I just gave you, things that have to do with guns and beating and that kind of thing. Identity-based language is another category, and that's stuff like they don't want you to say, hey, guys, because if you say guys, these examples lump all people under masculine language or with the gender binary, which does not include everyone. Don't say, ladies and gentlemen. Don't say policeman. Don't say freshman. Don't say she or he. Ask somebody's pronouns. Don't assume. Which is, I think that's a good rule of thumb these days. Like, don't assume what someone's pronouns are. But, hey guys, what's up, guys? No, they don't want you to say that. You can't say that.
See, that's why you need to be in the South so you can say y'all.
That's a good point.
You can put everybody in that.
Another category they have is language that doesn't say what we mean is a category. So, for example, if you're talking about all the things we're talking about and you said, with everything going on right now, no. Being vague about important issues is offensive. So you have to say, considering police brutality, considering COVID-19, name what you're referring to.
I don't think in 10 years we're going to be able to communicate at all.
Culturally appropriate language. Well, this one I like. Okay. I don't know anybody that says the word tribe or powwow. That's stupid. I understand why those are offensive. Nobody has said that in 40 years. They don't want people to go, oh my God, that bag is my spirit animal. Don't say spirit animal. Because in some cultural and spiritual traditions, spirit animals refer to an animal spirit that helps guide and or protect a person through a journey.
Mm-hmm.
which is, I think, the whole point of the spirit animal. But that's, and finally, they don't want you. The last category is called person first alternatives. So if you're telling a story about, like you and I were just talking about Chris Brown beating a woman, allegedly beating a woman, don't call her a victim or a survivor. Call her person who has experienced or person who has been impacted by.
Wow. I don't know how we're going to talk to each other. Everything that we've learned in our life is rule of thumb and all that. Hey guys, that was our generation. Our generation called everybody guys.
Yeah, that's true.
That was the term for people.
Yeah, I didn't know to be offended by that. Now I know I'm supposed to be offended by somebody being like, hey guys. But think about it. Anytime you watch an influencer or a vlogger, they always start out by going, hey guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
subscribe.
everything's got to change. I mean,
does it though? I mean, the thing about this that bothers me, and you should be bothered by this too, as a radio person, as a First Amendment person, they are telling people what they can and can't say. I understand some of those terms are offensive once you learn what it's about, why it's, this is my favorite one. You can no longer say, hey, let's go on a picnic.
Why?
Apparently, picnic, which again, there's another situation. I never knew this in a million years. I gave somebody for a wedding gift a picnic basket, and it was called a picnic basket, and it said on the tag, picnic basket for you from Cooper. Because apparently the picnic was something that was done when people came outside to eat and sit and watch a lynching, which I've never heard in my entire life.
That is completely insane. That's what Boo Boo always wanted to steal, was a picnic basket. Yeah.
I know. Well.
So, no, I would have been fine going my whole life not knowing that.
But is this against the First Amendment? I mean, they're telling students what they can and can't say. Like, I want to say, hey, guys, I'm not offended by that. And I guess if someone's offended by that, they can say to me, don't say, hey, guys. And then I'll never say, hey, guys, to them again.
Mm-hmm. But how are you going to keep that in your head? I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to change that. I know who
likes what and what they don't like. Me? Do you know how many different pronouns I have in my head with all my friends?
Right.
I have friends with mixed pronouns. I have some friends are they and them, but I have some friends that are he and they. I know the he's and the he theys versus the they thems versus the he hims.
See, but to put that in your head, you had to take out other stuff. And now you don't know how to tie your shoes because you had to put that in your head. Something had to move out.
I'll wear slip-ons to call people by the pronouns they want to be called.
I'm going to have to take math out of my head to put that in my head.
You did that years ago.
So, yeah, if something new has to go in there, if I can't say guys, then I'm going to forget my manners.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how I feel about Brandeis University telling their students what they should and shouldn't say. I think the responsible thing is to have this list. That way, if something comes up, they can be like, this feels more like a HR situation. You know what I mean? Like, well, we told them you can't sue us. We said, don't say guys.
That's exactly what it is. So they can't be sued. But people are still going to say, hey, guys. Hey, guys. Thanks for listening.
Hey, guys. Thanks for listening. Have a good weekend. Subscribe.